Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bleav in San Diego Baseball. I'm your host, Alex Miniak, the voice of Petco Park and other sports around town. I'll get to that in a minute. That's where I came running in from. And alongside me is my co-host, none other than the three-time All-Star. His name is Heath Bell and his glorious Mandalorian shirt. Heath, welcome to the show. Very nice.
Yep, keep it, that's the way it is. So, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm just wearing a basic brown Padres hoodie, postseason last year. Not to make me feel any worse, but
hey, you know what? It's been a good postseason so far, and the Padres they're in the playoffs the last couple of years, so they have a chance. I mean,
always.
It doesn't.
And you know what? That's what you keep saying, and it's absolutely true. You get in the dance, you got a chance. Yep. I didn't even mean to rhyme that, but now we got something to put on a T-shirt when we start selling those. Speaking of postseason, the championship rounds have been going on across Major League Baseball. Brewers and Dodgers. I want to talk about this series first with you because it seemed like at first in both of these series, there was no home field advantage. It didn't mean anything. Now, obviously, that's starting to change a little bit. But let's go back. NLCS, Game 1, Monday night. Brewers-Dodgers in Milwaukee. 8-6-2 double play. Now, I watched this play half a dozen times. I still don't think I understand it. Sal Frelick sort of robs the Dodgers' Max Muncy of a home run at the wall, but he doesn't catch it. It falls out of his glove, it hits the top of the wall, and then it falls into his glove. He relays it to short, throws home. There's a force play at home, and then the catcher Contreras for the Brewers then runs to third, and then there's another force play. I know they went through reviews. Everybody was confused. Broadcast crew was confused. Again, I watched it. I still don't know if I understand it. You saw it. What do you think? How did that work?
So here's the thing. If the ball hits in your glove and then bounces off the wall or something, like on the field, and then you catch it again before he catches the ground, it's not a catch,
Right.
So it's like a ball going off the wall and you catch it off the wall before it touches the ground. It's not a catch. But I think what happened is, in the moment, the ball, kind of went up and over, and I don't think the base runners could tell if it hit the wall or not. So it was like, what do I go? Do I not? The guy that was on third, I forget who it was, he tagged up and then he came back and was like, wait, what? Do I have to tag again? And then he went home. He should have just tagged up and went home and they would have scored. But here's the other aspect. So if you catch a ball and it bounces out of your glove and then it doesn't touch anything and catches your glove, then it's still an out, but the runners can take off as soon as it touches the guy's glove. So, if he catches it and bounces out of his glove, goes in his glove and bounces out, and then he catches it 2 seconds later, the runner can go as it bounces.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until the final. And here's the thing. I think it happens this is probably the second time it's ever happened in the game or the third time out of 150 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I've never seen that play, but I know just as a pitcher and outfield and messing around, it can't touch anything. But I did not know. I had to look it up about, as soon as the ball touches the glove, if it bounces out. But it makes total sense because guys could pop it up and make the guy better. So I just think the runners, they weren't sure if it was caught or not, and they couldn't tell.
Or if it even touched the wall. I mean, for one thing, that was an incredible play to keep it in the yard, first and foremost.
But it was an incredible play for the outfield umpire. If you looked at the wide view, they showed a wide view, and you could see the foul territory outfielder, the umpire down the line said, no catch. But when that happens, you don't go and look.
No.
Maybe your coaches should or something, but everybody's looking at them. And then what, usually look at the umpire at the midfield, But yeah, it's just it's one of those crazy plays. I mean, Milwaukee pulled it out the first game.
Yeah,
So
it was a great play, but the real story here was Blake Snell doing his best Don Larson impression. 8 innings pitched, shutout balls, 10 strikeouts. His ERA in the postseason right now is .86. That is the Snell you want. That's the Snell we know when he's pitching in Cy Young form.
if you look at Blake Snell, I mean, last year he pitched pretty much half the season with the San Francisco Giants. This year it was kind of the same way. I forget what injury he had, but he didn't really pitch a full season. I mean, we've seen him pitch a full season. We've seen him pitch a full season where he could not win on the road but could win at home, and we've seen Cy Young, part. So I mean, the ability's there. It's just him putting it all together, and I think LA has helped him put it all together.
Yeah, and we've seen front half of the season Snell versus back half of the season Snell too. So there is that. But this is the good Snell. I mean, you can't argue with that line right there. Dodgers win 2-1 in game 1. Then game 2 Tuesday night, Milwaukee's Jackson Chourio leadoff home run. You think, okay, all right, maybe a little home field advantage here. Nope, turns into the Yamamoto show. Complete game.
Yeah, Yamamoto had to outdo Blake, so
Yeah.
it was kind of amazing. It really was.
7 strikeouts of his own over his 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. Dodgers win 5-1. And now we have a game 3, which took place. We're recording this tonight here on Thursday night. I was working in the off season. I work a lot of college basketball, and I do home games for the University of San Diego. Go Toreros. We had our blue and white scrimmage, kind of an open house for everybody to come check out this year's squad. So I missed both games this evening. So Heath, normally I do the highlights on this show, but I'm going to hand game 3 to you. What happened?
Well, basically, I'll tell you the ins and outs, and I'm not going to promote certain people with the Dodgers just because they're the Dodgers.
Unless it's Dave Roberts. You like Dave. You've admitted.
I like
to
all
this.
the coaches, but we're talking play. So anyway, it just came off. The Dodgers scored in the first inning, and then Milwaukee kind of came back and answered in the second. And you thought, okay, this is going to be kind of a game. Pitchers are going back and forth. And it was a good pitching duel. And then I forget, one of the, bad Dodger players, ended up, scoring some. They basically scored 2 runs in the 5th or 6th inning. And then that was pretty much the deciding factor. So they won 3-1. But Milwaukee had chances, not a whole bunch of chances, but you could see the game was there, and it was like 1 hit away. And Milwaukee, I think, grounded into 5 double plays. So, I mean, they had some guys on here and there, but they just never got a big hit. And Milwaukee, unfortunately, you're kind of seeing, I think their hopes are kind of starting to disappear a little bit. The Dodgers, you could just see they're kind of in that form again where they were last year. So, unfortunately, I don't know if Milwaukee can win. So, but I will say, I did see a bunch of open seats in LA. I know, but it's kind of shocking because I know the Dodgers have been really good the last couple of years, and this could be their 5th National League championship, and it's one of those things. It's almost like, and it was almost full, but it was just like, it was really surprising. I'm looking around, and there was like, 4 or 5 open rows here, 4 or 5 open rows there, or 3 rows here. And it's just like,
Heath, they lead the league in attendance. We were only behind them this year.
Here's the thing. I think they bought the seat. They bought the tickets. They probably just didn't go.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you know what? I know some guys, they go to sports events, and they end up just staying in the tailgating, and they just stay outside in the parking lot. And if anything exciting happens, maybe they go in. So,
that's how I treat Aztec football. Sorry, but that's I love the tailgate. We've got a great spread. It takes a lot for me to go in.
Milwaukee's right there. They just, didn't put they had some guys, like I said, it could have gone either way. The Dodgers just got some key hits, right, towards the later of the game, and the Dodgers win 3-0. They won 3-1, but they're 3-0 on the series now.
I'm looking at the box score here like I usually do. Ashby just he got one out in the first and then handed the ball to Mizorowski, who goes 5. He's been great in the postseason. Another guy who's been pitching very well, Jacob Mizorowski, 1.50 ERA. He strikes out 9 over 5 frames. So the Dodgers not only have to hit timely, they have to get through that gauntlet.
Well, they
for
were
over half the game.
It was a pitching duel. It
Yeah.
really was. It was a pitching duel. What's going to happen? And I think both sides pitched really well. And it just happens to be, I mean, it started off the game. Ohtani hits a triple down the right field line. And then Mookie Betts' first pitch hits a double in the gap. So it's kind of like, but then everybody kind of settled down and pitched really good. And it just, it just, it was unfortunate. That's all. I just, right now I don't want to highlight the Dodgers because unfortunately it might be the Dodgers to win the whole thing. So
yeah, I think I'm going to have to stop you there.
Too much credit to those guys, but hey, they're a really good team, and you kind of have to tip your hat. But I don't have to promote them. So,
no, you don't. I'm gonna change the gears for you. We're gonna go to the ALCS. Blue Jays Mariners.
Let's go to Seattle.
Yeah. Blue Jays Mariners. Let's talk about Game 1 Sunday night. George Springer leadoff home run for Toronto. The first leadoff home run in Toronto history in the postseason. Very cool. He's done a lot, George Springer, in the postseason. Cal Raleigh evens it up in the 6th for Seattle, but really this game is about Bryce Miller's performance for Seattle. 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, only gives up 1 run. Mariners win 3-1. I should say your Mariners. You've been rooting for them. Game 2 on Monday. Julio Rodriguez gets Seattle going early. 3-run home run in the top of the first. Toronto then ties it up in the bottom of the second. Until Seattle's Jorge Polanco, who's been clutch this entire postseason as well. It's the go-ahead 3-run home run. Mariners win 10-3. Game 3 Wednesday. This was a total Blue Jay demolition going on in Seattle at T-Mobile. Andres Jimenez, 2-run home run. George Springer, solo home run. Vlad Jr., solo home run. Alejandro Kirk, 3-run home run. Addison Barger, home run. And that's just their side. Seattle had 3 of their own. 8 total home run hitters in this game alone. Blue Jays won 13-4. And here's where I turn it over to you again because I was busy in another sport, in another venue altogether. Heath, how did Game 4 go?
Game 4 didn't go so good.
For you?
For Seattle, So anyway, it started off and Seattle scored. They hit a home run in the second inning. You're like, okay, we're going to get back on the horse, starting to hit. Toronto didn't really get hits early on. And then all of a sudden in the third inning, Toronto's offense showed up again. And in the fourth and in the 7th and 8th. And they ended up winning 8-2. But I think the key here is, unfortunately, nobody can win at home. But really, here's the key. When Seattle's main guys hit, the team wins. Because when Vladdy hits and Springer hits on the Toronto side, dude, they win. And when those guys don't hit, they don't win. But it's one of those things that I think when their main guys are hitting, we haven't had a game yet where both sides are hitting really well. It's either one side's hitting well or the other side's not hitting well. And the age-old thing, these teams can win on the road. Unfortunately, Padres need to take a little, dig to this and go, hey, forget about winning at home, win on the road because these playoff teams are winning on the road. I mean, the Brewers are not, but Toronto's winning on the road. Seattle's winning on the road. LA went on the road. So, they're not scared of winning on the road. So right now, it's 2-2. It's a good series. Nobody thought Toronto was just going to thump Seattle or Seattle was going to thump Toronto. I think this is going to go down to Game 7. So
I mean, the way it's been going, I think it's the series that we expected. We knew that these two teams were well matched. We knew they were exciting. We knew they could hit. We knew they could pitch. I think it's everything we could ask for.
So Max Scherzer looked like the old Max Scherzer. He hasn't pitched in 2.5 months or something like that. And, dude, his slider, I mean, his fastball was 90, 94, 95, but his slider / curveball was nasty tonight. And there was one instant in the 5th inning there was one runner on or two guys on, and it was only 4-1 at the time. The Toronto's manager walked out and look up the highlights because Max Scherzer like screamed and yelled at him, basically like turn around, go back to the dugout, because he was pitching 5 innings, and he ended up pitching like 5 2/3. But yeah, Max looked 41, 42 years old, but man, he had his stuff, and he was pitching tonight, and he did a great job.
Think about he missed some time, and he missed the division round, and he just jumps into the championship series like it's no big deal
Hey,
on the road.
When you've been pitching that long, I think it was his 500 start in the big leagues. Yeah, you know what you got to do. You got to hit your spots, and you got to move your stuff. And he was pounding the strike zone with his fastball and his sweeper. They guys were swinging and missing, and he pitched really good game tonight.
I got to ask you, because we've got games coming up Friday night. We've got ALCS Game 5. We've got NLCS Game 4. In that NLCS, Dodgers have a 3-0 lead. It could be Milwaukee's last hurrah of the season. They're on the road. Talk about that finality of the season. Like, it's just done. You're riding this high of great baseball, gunning for a title, and then you just drop off a cliff. Like, what happens? Where do you go? What do you do? Where do you live after? Like, what is that like? I mean, I know from my perspective that I know that any game could be the last when I work postseason from my perspective, and it stinks. But I live 10 minutes from home. I don't have to worry about getting on a plane. I know where I live. Talk about that.
So I think if you lose at the very end or in the playoffs and you're at home, I was in New York once in 06 when we lost to the Cardinals in the National League Championship, and you just kind of sit in your locker and you just don't know where to go. You don't know what to do because you never thought you were going to lose. You just never thought it was going to happen. And the worst is losing on the road. When you're on the road, you still got to fly home with the team. And you're just like, it's almost like it's your birthday, everything's fun, and then just somebody slaps you or punches you in the face, and you're just like, huh? It just blindsides you. I mean, it's almost like I didn't see this coming, yeah, it's not a fun feeling. You almost like want to crawl in a hole and just, wither away. I mean, there's times that I got knocked out of the playoffs or just, didn't make it, but we thought we were going into it. And it's hard to watch the rest of the playoffs. It's hard to watch, and you don't even want to hear about it. And you walk by TV, and this has happened to me. You walk by TV and you're like, throw a fastball inside of this guy or breaking ball. And somebody turns and looks at you, and then that's what pitch they throw. They're like, what? It's like I was geared up. I knew exactly what to do, and it just didn't happen. And it's a miserable feeling. It really is. That's why, like Derek Jeter or Tom Brady, they always said the goal is to win the last game of the season. That's all it is. And it doesn't matter what you did. Doesn't matter if you hit 3,000 hits. Doesn't matter if you 1,000 home runs or whatever it is. Doesn't matter if you hit 70 home runs in a season. If you didn't win the last game, it doesn't matter.
I want to continue this conversation after the break. We have to take a quick break here on the show, pay some bills for me and Heath. We do have them. Well, Heath lives a retired major league lifestyle. I'm still a plebe, working
all my money. I still got to work.
If you have not followed or subscribed to us yet, make sure you do so. We are Bleav in San Diego Baseball, and if you have, thank you. We've met a lot of our great subscribers and friends of the show so far, and you know what? we need you to tell some more friends so we can meet them as well. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and don't forget to check us out on our website too, BleavInSD.com. That is BleavInsD.com. We got a fan poll I want to remind you about. We're going to continue this story. We're going to do that all next here on Bleav in San Diego Baseball. Welcome back to Bleav in San Diego Baseball, our podcast here. My name is Alex Miniak, and he is Heath Bell. Heath, we took a break from our conversation here. My question to you was, once you get eliminated from the playoffs, what's that feeling like? What do you do? So you sit in the locker. You don't win that last game. The last game to win is always the goal. Take a team like Milwaukee. Should they get eliminated in Los Angeles, there's that flight home. They get back to the clubhouse. Then what? They got to go through the stuff. They got to clean out the lockers. And then what? Some of the guys live locally, I'm sure. You, I assume, lived locally when you were with the Padres. Yeah, and then some jet off somewhere. Is it vacation? Is it chill time at home? What do you do? Is it different for everybody?
I think it's different for everybody because everybody has different atmosphere. Some guys are just like, yeah, whatever. But some guys take it a little bit harder than others. I think, if you have a family, you usually go to your family and you just try to intermix in the kids, and kids don't care if you win or not. They just want, dad home. And I think if you don't have a family, maybe going on vacation and just getting away and not hearing the media, the news, or hearing anything, probably might be the best thing to do. And if you want your stuff, you ask the clubbies to pack it up and send it home, or you come back a week later and you go through your locker and stuff like that. So I will say, if the Brewers lose, they're not going to pack very good out of their locker. They're just going to throw stuff in boxes and ship it home. If you win it all, you probably are going to pack it up a little bit better. You're going to fold your clothes instead of just throwing them in there or dropping them in there. So you're just a little bit happier. So it's kind of one of those feelings you just don't like. I mean, this day and age, I haven't won a World Series, and I'm like, how can I get back to coaching and just be a part of it and be a coach and win a ring? So
I have a AA ring. I mean, I'm not a player, but I won one as a front office person. It's still one of the coolest things I own. It has my name on it. It's got the stone and everything. 2011 New Hampshire Fisher Cats, Eastern League champions, baby. I'm going to wear that bling on this show sometime for you.
I don't have a champion ring. But I got a 300 in bowling ring. It's about as best I got. You got all-star.
That's all right. That's quite an accomplishment, and that's a solo accomplishment too. By the way, our fan poll, your favorite moment from the 2025 Padres season. I know it feels like it was forever ago, but it really wasn't. What was your favorite moment if you haven't had a chance to vote yet? Is it the 15-4 start to the season out of the gates we had? Was it Manny's 350th home run and 2000th hit? Was it Fernando's right field robberies late in the year, Mason Miller's immaculate inning, or the back-to-back 90-win seasons? Right now, Mason Miller's immaculate inning is what's winning. The inning is winning. It's the second time I've rhymed on this show today. I'm proud of myself. But if you would like to change those rankings a little bit, make sure you hit up our vote at BleavInSD.com. Well, we'll see how these championship series shake out on our show next week. We got a couple of shows to kind of dive in there and see what happened. We'll be talking about the World Series matchup, and then we have the hot stove after that. We're talking free agency, who's staying, who's going.
Who's the manager?
Who's the manager, right? We still got to pick. Maybe we do that here on the show? Maybe we pick the manager, Heath.
One of the things is I'm trying to put my hat into coaching, and I don't think I'm going to be a manager right off the bat, but I think maybe in the minors somewhere. I'm trying to get some interviews, but we need to get some ex-players, in there, like Albert Pujols, Nick Hundley, maybe Yachty or somebody, Mark McGuire or somebody out there to start managing, because, Bochy was a player, Don Mattingly, Joe Torre. They were all, good players and became really good managers, Bud Black. And it's just kind of like, we need to get, some of the 90s, 2000 players into coaching, managing, because they know the game and they know how hard it is. And I think they relate to the players. Plus, I mean, there's a lot of cybermetrics and numbers. And, I Bleav in a lot of that stuff because it helps you make the best baseball decision out there. So coaches are a big thing. And I think ex-players help today's players out. They respect them and, they can help them in these situations.
Yeah, I would love if you were a coach. We would bring this show to wherever you are. If you're in Kannapolis, I don't even know if they still have a team in Kannapolis, but if they do,
I'll still be on the show. I'll be, I'll hold up the bus or this and that, or
we could do it on the bus. Boy, that would be a cool perspective. We do the show from the team bus on the way to Dayton, Ohio, or wherever we're going. That would be fun. We got to work on that. Okay, expansion plans. We're already talking about them. Let's worry about next week. That's when we'll come back. Don't forget, guys, website. Thanks for checking us out. We're going to make a quick exit here for Heath Bell, the 3-time All-Star. My name is Alex Miniak, and we will catch you next time here on Bleav in San Diego Baseball.